we struggle to struggle sometimes, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like we struggle to struggle, yo.
Yeah, man.
A Cannon.
If they hurt me, you know I can't fall. Now that I'm rising, want me to stay calm. You know we chase God, we want you to chase God. Lies in the room that make you feel so table. Even in the fire, we stand tall. And we can lose it all, but God will bless us tenfold. We're not afraid to lose, cause we've been chose. Being hated and betrayed, but we still born.
Guys, welcome back to the Evening Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, and today Luke and I will be discussing the dream. Have you ever had a dream similar to Joseph, or had something, a prophecy spoken over you, and you just was so focused on that dream coming to pass that you forgot that it was a dream given to you by God, and that his timing was the timing for everything to come to fruition? So we're going to talk about that and unpack that with testimony from our own lives. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I saw that you added that topic of Joseph's dream, and I kind of wanted you to kind of lead that off.
Okay.
Lead that off and let us discuss it, because I like it. I like it. I was intrigued by it when you put that on the list.
Yeah.
So where'd that come from?
I think it really stems from my journey of stubbornness, right? And just being ambitious naturally.
Yeah.
So since my whole life, I've always been naturally ambitious. I've always been like the underdog. So that meant I always had to fight and grind and chase to get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So there was moments in my life where I felt like God was leading me to do something, whether it be pursuing my wife or whether it be music.
Yeah.
And it's like God would show me a piece of what he wants me to have. And it became this cycle of he shows it to me just a little bit, and I'm so excited that I start chasing after what he showed me, and I lose sight of him completely.
Yeah.
If not lose sight of him, or just I accidentally forget, it's not intentionally. Like I want God, I'm going to give him the glory.
Yeah.
But there's that thing of like you're chasing a dream and you want it so bad now that God showed you it. He showed you how to get it. He showed you the plan, to the point where he's just like, bro, you're not going the right direction. And I thought about Joseph because Joseph got this dream at a young age.
Yeah.
He had a few dreams, but the dream pretty much was he's going to be leading his family, right? Yeah. They're going to be bowing down to him. And he didn't chase it a single time. He never chased it. He never chased it. And in fact, when he opened his mouth and talked about it, his brothers ended up selling him into slavery. And even in slavery, he wasn't chasing to, first of all, there was no route, right? It's not like a corporate office where it's like, you work as a slave today, and then 5 years from now, you'll be on fries, and then after that, you'll be on burgers.
Yeah.
He was just faithful and committed in every season that God had him in, because his heart was always just in the right place. He knew his heart was pure when he had the dream.
Yeah.
And then eventually when he gets close to the king, and it almost seems like, oh, here I'm about, like he could become close to Potiphar and all that stuff. He's like the best slave. Well, he doesn't then start planning his takeover, right? He's still being faithful, still being committed. He gets thrown into jail, and he's still allowing God to use him by his gifts, even while he's in jail. And because he wasn't so bitter and so resentful while he was in prison, he was able to use his gifts, and that gift that the gift that he used in jail is what ended up blessing him when the dude got out, because the prophecy came true. And then when the king or whoever was in charge, I can't think of it right now.
You can't.
Yeah, whoever was in charge, when he had a dream and he couldn't figure it out, the person who he used his gift for while he was in prison was able to talk to him and say, oh, I know somebody who knows dreams. Yeah. And then Joseph gets it. And then after Joseph answered the dream, everything becomes fulfilled. Blase, we know how it ends, right? Yeah. But I think the key thing for me is God can give you a dream, but it's not his plan is not your plan.
Yeah.
God's never going to give you something that you can then orchestrate a method of getting it. If God shows you that he has a plan for you, our whole job is to just stay in tune with him, stay in alignment with him, trust him, and continue to seek after him so that he can give it to you. Like we have to be good stewards over everything, but
there you go. That's the word.
we can't disregard him and forsake him for the sake of, our dream or ambition or what he showed us.
Yeah. So That's great, man. I'm happy you broke that down for everybody. So let's take it step by step. Let's go back to Joseph initially having a dream and then presenting it to his dad and then his brothers, right? He had joy in presenting that. You can just tell by the way the text was, he was so innocent, the way that he was communicating it. It's hard to say that he was communicating it in a boastful way.
Yeah.
Because for them to feel jealousy, in the way that they felt jealousy to the point to where they hated him, it's like, dang, well, dad already gave you this coat because he thinks you're the most special one. And then for you to have a dream like this saying that we're going to be under you, bound down to you, like that's a slap in the face after everything that we do to, you know, please our Father, right? And for them to like do what they did, have that hate in their heart to try to kill their brother, but then later have one brother say, no, let's just sell him away. Yeah. They originally wanted to kill him. Like, which is crazy. Yeah, that's like Cain and Abel, like all over again, except with your brothers coming together, right? Wow. And then now they just sell him away, and then just make up a story and say that he got 8, you know, or something like that, right? Yeah. Joseph, knowing what his brothers just did to him, is on his way to slavery, bro.
Wow, dang, that's tough.
Is on his way to slavery, not even thinking about the dream. He still don't understand why they did what they did. You think about that. So he's going into it. He didn't lose faith in God. He's more like, why did my family do this to me? Not understanding that it was the dream that triggered them, but it wasn't motivating him in no way to be envious, right? I bring that up to say, how many of us talk about things to the wrong people? Wow. We bring up and we so quick to release things, whereas we gotta sit with it, marinate on it, or talk to somebody that has wisdom, right? Before we just give it away, because we don't know what people's intentions are, or what people that's really you would think your brothers would be for you. Yeah. Not in this case. Yeah. You would think that sharing good news is something where people would applaud and they cheering you on, versus them like secretly hating. wanting the worst for you. Wow. Like that there, I think is the message on that, just that pocket of it is a message right there for somebody that's listening. It's like, although Joseph is young and naive, some of us are wise enough to know when we need to silence our tongue and be quiet. Or like, you know, Lord, let me make sure this is from you before I share with everybody. Whenever you're going to do make a significant decision for your family, am I just going to go talk to a single person? Right. That don't make sense. Yeah. A person that's, if I'm constantly thinking of doing things with my wife, why would I go and talk to somebody that's not married? Yeah. Knowing that they secretly desire to be married, what does it look like for me constantly going to them about the good things that are happening for me? Yeah. Because they can start to resent that. And the same thing with business. You know, why I'm going to talk to somebody that doesn't have a business but desires to have a successful business. I'm just going to go talk to somebody that has a successful business, and that ain't got nothing to gain from me. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Well, how does that make you?
Well, no, that's really deep right now, because, and I was talking to this other dude, and it's like, God is blessing me right now in a lot of different areas, especially financially. Yeah. And I'm like, there's not a lot of people I can just call up and just celebrate with, because of the season that I'm in, and because of the fact that I can't be a savior, and I can't put myself in that position of, one, I understand that I can do something and I can say it out of just being grateful and having gratitude for God. But I did share a testimony with someone who was close to me, and I found out that person was talking bad about me, saying, oh, he's acting like he's doing all this stuff, but every time I ask him for this, he can't give me nothing. Wow. So it was like, the fact that happened, I'm just like, yeah, that's right. A little Joseph moment of, okay, so I have to be very, luckily I have a wife, because me and her were in sync, but it's really interesting, because I was just talking to this dude a couple of days ago, and he's in the same situation where it's like, he doesn't feel like he's successful, but he doesn't feel it because there's nothing he can do for his mom, right? His mom doesn't want anything substantial. She just wants to leech off of him. So like, she's going through something right now and she's looking pretty bad, but it doesn't matter what he has. Like, there's a hole in his heart because he can't give back to her, you know? Yeah. So I think that's what that just makes me think about. Like, so for you, when you came from what you came from. You get saved. All of a sudden, you and your wife are doing good, buying houses. Who were you celebrating with?
Honestly, bro, like that's just preaching to me. Like I literally just preached to myself because I realized that I only like the what I'm going through isn't palatable for everybody.
Yeah.
Like they can't receive what that looks like. And you start to realize that by the type of the lack of dialogue that a person's able to communicate with you when you're trying to share something exciting or what you perceive as exciting and transformative for your life, and you realize that they can't like compute that. Like they can't really get like, oh yeah, bro, that's dope, bro, that's dope. What do you mean it's dope, bro? Like do you know what I've been through? But then you got to take a step back. Like sometimes you're talking to people that don't know the significance of what God brought you out of. So you can't be surprised by their lack of enthusiasm on you sharing this good news, right? And for me, what I had to do was like first learn how to communicate stuff with my wife because she's seeing it day to day. And like, how do I share these things? And that's where like having the right community and team around you, like accountability to be able to share that. Like that's like I literally just preached to myself because I was so quick to like share stuff, knowing that like
because you're so honest.
My family can't hear this. Like they barely believe that like I say because but we've been praying for you for years. And you see that most people are still like in the cycle of just a traditional westernized American Christian life, like where they believe in God, that's enough, and they go to church on Sunday, but their life don't match it. Like this, they have enough just to get to Monday, and after Monday, they waiting for Sunday again. And I just didn't want to be like that. You know, I just was like, man, it got to be more than what I grew up seeing. This cannot be how to live this life. Like looking at people around me that I know, you know, grew up in church and I didn't, like it just gotta be more. And so I had to start being mindful of how I speak and who I spoke to.
When you started your walk, did you see anybody in the faith who saw how God was using you have envy towards you?
If I did, I didn't recognize it because I don't know what it looks like. See, I knew what hating looks like in the world. I didn't know what it looked like with a Christian smile on their face. You know, knowing how to have the Christianese, you know, type of dialogue. If somebody was envy or hating, I wouldn't have been able to tell in the beginning. Because I was still so green, like onto like trying to just learn the faith. Like and understand my walk. I mean, have you? Because you've been in it.
I've just assumed good intent from most people. Lately, I'm finally now like, okay, that's hate, or oh, that's jealousy. But for the majority of my life, I'm just like, what's wrong with him? Like I don't even have time to focus on you. I got kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's kind of like that. Like, bro, I'm just focused on like trying to be a good husband. Like,
there's some people who are hyper focused on how people feel and like what people are doing. Sometimes it's discernment, and sometimes it's necessary, and sometimes it's just like you're just bringing drama that's unnecessary to your life.
Let's transition then. Let's go to the next thing. So he ends up in prison, right? And so now Joseph's in prison, and he's, you know, his character, his character as a person won't allow him.
Well, before we go to prison,
let's go.
Let's go backwards, right? Because evidently he's the best slave.
Evidently.
So for him to not have that resentment, like you said, he's on his way there, and the one thing is like, yo, my family just did this to me.
Come on.
And yet he's naive enough to be in this new situation and still not allow his heart to change. And I'm like, this is the one thing that's important because me being divorced, I had every opportunity to shut my heart up and like, I'm never doing this again. And I remember one time I said that to myself, I said, I am never doing that again. I'm never. My mom calls me up 30 seconds later out of nowhere and says, God says, open up your heart back up. And Bob, she prophesied all this stuff. I was bawling. And it's like, dang, it hurts so much to know that I have to once again put my heart out there to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I'm glad she gave that lesson, because the opposite side of that is just resentment. And if I'm resentful and I have a hard heart and I'm like regretting and I'm living with all that nastiness in my soul, how can I be effective in any relationship after that?
How can God use it?
How can God use that? He can't, because I'm taking it away from him.
Yeah.
So like you see Joseph, clearly he's in that same place where he's like, okay, well, I was working well with my dad. I was, loving my family.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am now. I'm a slave in a new land. I'm still going to do the best that I can. I feel like that's like so powerful.
Bro, that's crazy. If we just take a moment just to look at that, because I'm happy you brought that up and backed up, because he's definitely upset or like can't understand why this happened, but he goes into slavery with the same type of work ethic and the same type of heart for people, because he didn't let himself like detach from how he's really feeling towards his family. Yeah. He wasn't going to let that anger or bitterness stop him from being a light.
Right.
In every situation.
Right.
And you just text me the other day like, man, I'm happy I was a light this week. Like, it's that simple. Like,
man, but it's like, man, we allow a lot of us, just in general, we allow life circumstances to change us. Yeah. Because you put yourself out there and then you get hurt. Yeah. And then now you become a shell of yourself. Mm-hmm. And you don't realize that God innately gave you that heart. He gave you the ability to love the way you love. Yeah. He gave you the patience. So if you allow all these people and all these circumstances to shift you, God no longer has the chisel. Now you're allowing society to have the chisel. Now they're creating in you whatever they want.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're staying true to who God has you, like you said, like you're honest. You know what I mean? But it's like growing up in the hood, like if you was messing with multiple girls, you'd be like, hey, just so you know, you ain't the only one. You know what I mean? Like just you allowing yourself to be honest with yourself, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people, and I know a lot of guys who they put on some shell like they just tough or they too smooth or they don't care, they're nonchalant. Like they're not being true to the feelings and the emotion that God gave them that made them uniquely them. And you see Joseph, clearly God gave him work ethic, and he stayed true to that despite his circumstance. Yeah. I'm like, that's something we can learn from for sure.
But even and if we want to move ahead of that, he was prepared to be used. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he not only helped a slave in there with being able to understand someone's dream. Yeah. And help that person actually get the elevation while he stayed.
Man, he literally sees somebody living his dream.
Knowing that if I do this is actually going to benefit you and give you freedom while I have to stay. Yeah. Bro, how many people, he ain't friends with these folks. Yeah. He don't know these people from nothing. Yeah. But how many folks and friends that are willing or just strangers willing to partner with folks, like, I see what you got. I see what God is doing in your life. I'm going to help you. I ain't got nothing to give, but I'm going to help you with this dream. Mm-hmm. And although I'm going to have to stay here on the couch, I got to watch you, like, continue to achieve. And he don't hate on them, though.
But aren't those, like, the best people? Like, I look at mine and your relationship, because you were that for me. You know what I mean? Like, the connections and things that I've gotten through our relationship and our friendship, you could have easily just benefited from. You could have said, "Oh, Jeff, don't worry, I can do social media." Yeah. You could have told James, "Oh, I got it." Yeah. You literally put me in a place where God can bless me financially and connect me with all these different people, and you had genuine joy. You know what I mean?
I like seeing you be on, bro. Yeah.
But it's like that's Joseph right there. But how many people have that, right? Yeah. That's tough to have, because we're all trying to keep up with the Joneses. We all feel like it should be me. Like the amount of coveting and envy that we have right now in the world is just, it's so sad, because you can never enjoy where God has you, because you're so focused on where you're not, you know?
Let me say this, because I got to say this for somebody. We talked about this today. How much time we got?
Like 10 minutes.
Okay. The thing about it is, like, man, I was just telling you, like, how horrible I am on social media, right? Like, I don't scroll. I don't do this, so I miss a lot of whatever somebody's posting. I probably see a couple stories, just whatever I can see, like, that fits on my screen, and I'm not going through each thing. Yeah. I post and I get off, right? Or I don't post and I just check and just do something. But I say that to say, I've trained myself, bro, to not be interested in other people's lives. Not in a negative way, but I've trained myself to not be fooled by a false reality. I've trained myself to not be tricked by the highlights of people's lives.
Yeah.
And because I've built up that type of muscle, like, I'm so content and satisfied with where God has me and where God's taken us as a family.
Yeah.
And because I've been that way, my wife has now become that way, to where, like, she ain't been on Instagram in almost a year now.
Wow.
Because we got to protect ourselves, because you can get so caught up in what people are doing and seeing them doing exciting things, because we like to travel and do, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can get caught up and be like, they might be doing it, but their marriage might be the most unhappiest, fake. We don't know what the behind the scenes look like. Anybody can smile in a picture.
Yeah.
Is that like a car or something?
It sounds like a coyote or something like that.
Boy, I hope it ain't no coyote.
But I also think it's like there can be behind the scenes, right? Mm-hmm. They can be smiling on the camera and they can be super just doing well in their life as well, right? Mm-hmm. It can be real.
It can be real.
But I feel like the problem becomes once you are so unsatisfied with your life that you have to live vicariously and envious through social media. Well, now the only person being affected is you.
Yeah, man.
Because you have your own ground that you have to toil. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Because that's right. It could be very, very valid. These people could be thriving and they just, this is a way for them to show.
And I say that because so many people, and I know a lot of people who that's how they trick themselves into not being envious, right? Like, they're probably gonna go through a divorce. So now you're gonna speak a curse over them because their joy, because they're somewhere where you're not. So now let's curse them. You know what I mean? Like, so now you're gonna look at everybody who's successful and everybody who's blessed, and wait to see something negative happen because you're bitter and you don't want to do some hard work.
Well, they become what they hate. You know what I'm saying? They become the people that's waiting for the downfall.
You're the person. It's
you. You're you. So now you are what you hate. Man. You know, you are waiting for someone's downfall. Like, no, I'm not. I just don't think. Now look at your language. And then when they realize what they're saying, you become the person that looks in the mirror and walks away and forget what he looks like. Man. That's what the scripture said. Yeah. You look yourself intently in the mirror and you walk away and you forget what you look like because you so focused on the negative aspects of things and like what you want, what you desire. It's got to be about me. Yeah. But you don't even know what you look like in the mirror. So how are you trying to be out here judging folks and looking at people, you know?
And it sucks if that's how you get peace, right? You get peace of mind knowing you're struggling, you're going through it by the hope that the person on that screen smiling is going through something devastating.
And then the next thing they post another one where they still shining.
Yeah.
You hate it. They post another thing and now because what didn't come to pass, like it still happened because these people are probably covered, bro. They covered in the blood. And you just a bitter believer.
Yeah. And the truth is we just don't know.
No, you
but
don't.
At the end of the day, it's like, are you watering your lawn, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do you care? Like, and you guys don't have to take my advice, you know, as we close this out. You guys don't have to take my advice. But the story of Joseph has so many dynamics. We just broke down just a little bit of it. I will go and study that scripture, man, and just read that story and just let God deal with you on where you're at. And just have him give you the revelation from that. Just study it for this week, guys. Just go read the story of Joseph and live with it and sit with it. And just watch how God can reveal some subtleties about like your perspective on your life and your walk. And then let him work you through that. Let him cleanse you. Let him wring all that crap out so that you guys can be in right standing with him. And you can properly live your life in a holy and righteous way that will honor God in everything that you do. This is the Even If Podcast. We'll see you guys on the next one.